Okay. Let's move on from that. Let's try to reset our minds. Reset our minds towards something else. You know what? I feel like for this one, the scourge of the high seas. The scourge of the high seas. Should I do a pirate accent? I can't keep it consistent though. Army mateys. I'm gonna try and do a pirate accent here. No, that's fucking awful. I don't think I can deal with that. Or maybe I can. Should I? Should I not? It'll be decided on a moment-to-moment basis. Anyway, warnings. Volume 6, Route 2. Let's see, what do you got? That's a lot. That's a lot of things. Cannibalism animal, mind control, arachnids and insects in detail, vor, gore, death, parental mistreatment, gender and identity discomfort, strangulation, dyspraxia, stimming, United States politics, historical, panic attacks. Okay. That's quite a few things. It's quite a few things. It's quite a few things. You've been warned, apparently, now. And so have I. So, Jesus Christ. Pirate accent might be very disrespectful here then. We're dealing with those. That was a paragraph. That was a paragraph of content warnings. Jeez. Okay, well, I guess we're this far in. We can't stop. We can't stop. Absolutely not. Let's go. The scourge of the high seas. Your latest narrative jaunt has you walking down an Alternian shore. The two moons light up this beach cove in shades of pink and lime green, their reflections playing at shimmering patterns in the gentle waves. It would be beautiful, if not for the haggard, monstrous gulls picking the flesh from dead and pungently rotting fish, crabs, and even one of their own. I mean, hey, gotta eat. You keep your distance as they eye you warily, gore on their chipped beaks. These are not potential friends. No, crows are gulls. No, gulls are fucking evil. Fuck gulls. They're evil pieces of shit. Everywhere you jump, serendipity seems to guide your hand. But would it be right to call you fortunate? I mean, you got magic power, so, I guess. The night is cool, almost cold. You kick a pure white seashell down the beach. It skips gracelessly in the dark grey sand. You have brought friends together and just barely begun to master this tremendous and strange new power. But no, you think. You are not fortunate. As you walked alone down the sand that's still radiating stored up heat from the searing day, you feel a pang. Something is missing. You know you felt this way before, but you can't place when. You have a gulf within you, the width and breadth of this ocean. An isolation so plain, so true, that it seems impassable, invincible. You step on a weird bug, and you don't even care. Yes, you are filled with a sudden, almost comforting conviction. Nothing you have done on your journey has really made a difference. If you can pick up and put down the lives of these alien weirdos and human weirdos and shake them like an Etch-a-Sketch when things go wrong, are you really accomplishing anything? Or are you just building shitty castles in the sand with flimsy plastic implements? Castles that won't mean shit for nothing when the tide rises. You've decided. You are a creature of solitude. You are a rock. You are an island. From now on, you walk alone. You walk alone. This lonely road. Where I've never been. Oh, that's the wrong lyrics. Fuck. When the city sleeps, I will never meet. I'll walk alone. Forget this. It's a good song. I don't remember which one was. I have too many songs in my brain. There may be an angled figure crouched with terrible posture on a dock ahead, sure. That figure may be sitting next to an intriguing-looking moored ship, yes. But surely one glimpse of a potential life to meddle in won't immediately make you fall off the wagon. Back to a life of itinerant friendship, right? Of course it fucking will. Come on now. Oh, sweet new friend. God damn it. Well, of course. Hello there, lady. Maybe, or dude, I don't care. You amble over to the girl hunched on the dock like the stupid thimble friend slut you are, doing an acrobatic fucking pirouette off the wagon. She hasn't seen you yet, so you watch her like a creep. She's leaning over a complicated pile of papers, erasing boxes and filling them in again. Every once in a while, she pauses to roll various dice. Dice. Character sheets. We got D&D here, or the equivalent of this world. Oh, that's a mean looking face. As soon as you take one step onto the wooden deck, she looks up and jumps with a feline quickness into a standing position, looking immediately ready for a fight. Whoa, what are you? You raise your hands in a pathetic sort of I'm innocent weak motion, which for you is basically any motion. Wait a second, you're that weirdo that was bothering Kane, aren't you? Yep, you're exactly that weirdo, and now you're here saying hello to a new stranger and maybe make a new friend. Isn't that great? Great, just what I needed. More meddling. I know I'm the coolest, but I'm kind of busy right now. Big campaign tonight. Dude, you are so good at campaigns, you tell her. You're all about hope and change. You helped Al Gore hang a Chad, Tobacco and Tyler too. What even the fuck are you saying? Don't call me dude, or anything else for that matter. You mean you're down to help maybe be her campaign manager? Ha! I'm the captain here, buddy. But as it happens, I'm currently all out of first mates. Wanna be a swabby? Oh, it's like a boat thing. I mean, there's a pirate ship, so yes, it's a boat thing. Yes. I like her already. So that's why there's a boat there. No shit. What are all the papers on the ground for? The campaign, dumbass. They're the character sheets for me, the greatest petticoat seagrieft ever to sail the seas. One of the friends was raised in the cave and she still knows what flarp is. Well, you can zap over to the cave and ask her then. Her look of indifference is immediately replaced with a tilt of the head as though your threat to leave caught her attention. Ew, not unless you want to smell like cat piss for weeks and get high off secondhand nip. Okay, so this friend is a cat. Noted. Look, it's simple. Pick a name and roll up some stats. For example, I am Marquis Spinneret Mindfang. I'm the scourge of the high seas, an undefeated champion of naval flarp. My colors on the horizon turn even high bloods into sniveling cowards. You say that sounds really cool. It kinda is, that's cool. But aren't troll names 6 letters long? Look, it's a fake name. You mean you've only met a couple before this, but for some reason you have a really strong sense of the rules here. I'm in character here. Try to keep up. You guess that explains the outfit. She seems really into this. Maybe weirdly into this. Hey, hobbies are fine. Don't judge hobbies. It's all a bit intense. Isn't this just a game? Dude. When your life... Look. Campaigns are serious business. Character. Flarping. It's serious business. Stickman. Don't fucking judge that. Don't you fucking judge that. It's serious business. It's escapism. It's literally... It's essential. Sometimes it's critical for your mental well-being. Don't you fucking say it's intense. Yes, it can get intense. That's the idea. Like, as long as the person can maintain a healthy separation between fact and fiction, be as fucking intense as you can be. Maximum intensity. Maximum intensity. But don't get lost in this fictional world of yours. Otherwise, that's trouble. That's very troublesome. That's how you get cults. That's how you get religions. I mean, it is. People's believe... no, cults, yes. Religions happen, whatever. Cults happen when one person is in on the joke, or like on the fakeness. The others aren't. When they believe, true believers, zealots, are the most terrifying people on this fucking world. Because they believe. They truly believe. And it can be great, but when you believe something that's fake, fictional, and are so intense about it, that you disregard reality, facts, everything, That's problematic. That's real bad. That's real bad. That's real bad. That's real bad. We got a lot of history. We got a lot of history everywhere around the entire planet to showcase how believers... I mean, first of all, believers will do fucking anything for their beliefs, essentially. And second, they can be easily exploited as well. So that's bad in a different way. Anyway, Flarp is more than just a game. I already forgot what voice I gave her. And I'm the best there is. How about this? If you agree to make a character and sail with me, I'll tell you my real name. You look at her elaborate costume over at her ship and decide, why the hell not? You've already made your friend bed, now you have to sleep in it. Now you're going to sleep. Not that you're going to sleep or anything. That would be patently ridiculous. I think we should take a nap every now and then, though. That would be very useful. Anyway. Okay, let's walk you through this. You should be flattered that a master gamer like me is giving you the full tutorial. I had to read the book myself, with no help. It can be daunting, yes, but I mean, if it's well written, any like a system of game can be easily understood if you read it once or twice, and then you like, play it out a little bit. You set the things up, like you begin to understand how it works. Like if it's a well-designed one, then reading it once and then setting it up once, and then like, doing a playtest of it yourself once, like you should be able to understand it pretty much perfectly. I mean, okay, not perfectly, but more than enough. Like, easy to learn, difficult to master. Like that's the golden standard that you want to go for. Like you want that. You want that in the game, generally speaking. It's easy to pick up and you can be competent at it, but when you go to a higher level of like, you're digging deep into the little details of the intricate little combinations and potentials and everything else, that's when you can do something absolutely ridiculous. The first thing you do is roll values for each of the 10 dice rostra. Simple, right? She pops a huge bag of dice out of her Siladex and starts handing you groups at a time. You roll 2d4 for dice rostrum. A Throne of the Empress and get 2 ones. You roll 6d6 for dice rostrum, conduct a stand, and 6 fucking snake eyes set up at you from the wood of the dock. Well, that's shit. Wow, you're really bad at this. Look at the dice. Take the insult lying down. You've got to hand it to her. When she's right, she's right. And she's right, so she's right. You finished all 26 dice rolls required for this game, and you've gotten the lowest on each one. What rotten luck. I've never seen anyone roll this low before. I didn't even know you could get a 0. It shouldn't be possible. Oh wait, no, we can see over here at the bottom. Aha, 3d12 divided by 2 minus 1. So you can get a 0. It is absolutely possible. So if you roll, 3 divided by 2 and you, generally, at least in D&D 4th edition, you round down, not up. Some games you roll up as the rule. In 4th edition, you roll round down. And that's the same here then. And minus 1. So yeah, 1 minus 1 is 0. It's okay. We can save this by putting the stats in the right place. She flips to another page of the player's handbook that shows you the attributes of Flarp. For some reason, you could read them, despite just arriving on Splat for the first time. Don't sweat the details. I got distracted by the flap abstraction of the stat bat. The stat bat. Anyway, right? So your Vim, Grit, Pulchritude, and Grace combined with real life vitals to make your HP. Wait, real life vitals? Your body is weak and shitty. Is this some kind of hardcore game? The most dangerous game? If you die in the game, do you die in real life? I mean, if you're using your actual physical body, then yes. Yeah? You didn't know? The sheer combined shock of what you don't know could kill an elephant quicker than Thomas Edison trying to discredit an immigrant. Alright, that happened. There. Petty shits. Although I thought the past. You get to roll again when you level up, so you won't be so pathetic forever. I mean, if you survive. But with a scourge like me at your side, you're on easy street. I'm jealous of you, really. You gulp and nod. Okay, let's finish this. The Marquise grins. Her lipstick smears a bit where her fangs jut out. You'd think that's just how it is for trolls wearing lipstick, but Kanae's was perfect. Look, everyone wants some things. She pulls an 8-ball out of her pocket and smashes it suddenly and violently on the dock. You jump at the noise. She looks at you pitifully and then decides not to make fun of you. Okay, a random 8-ball. Okay. On the wrecked plastic sophistic sphere, a gross fucking grubby worm appears. It's like the size of a wiener dog. In its wriggling, you see that it's pulsating. Okay. Covered in the blue-tinted family recreation water once inside an 8-ball, the grub's swollen ovipositor glistens. It extends to deposit a massive brood of eggs, each glowing in the center with a slowly pulsating lead light. This is so fucking gross. You look away and dry heave a bit, leaning off the dock. So far, this game sucks ass. That's really? Oh. Gee. Don't tell me you've never seen a game grub before. You tell her you have never seen a game grub before. Also, maybe she should give you a content warning before she makes you watch a thing that includes a glistening opus. I mean, we did get a content warning. And honestly, if that's the graphic description of the bugs, then it's like, okay. I guess my imagination of bugs isn't that vivid, or I just simply don't care that much. But whatever, moving on. What? Shit, yeah, that was pretty gross. Here. You bring up the pause menu, click on warnings, and give it a read before making an informed decision. Have those been there the whole time? Yes, they have been. We've been looking at them every single time. Vriska taps her foot impatiently while you fuck around in the game client. I'm not gonna do that, I've already done that. For some reason, seeing a full list of content warnings isn't easing your anxiety about what's ahead. No, we still haven't gotten to some of the other things. It reminds you of something that once made you really angry. In fact, you're especially worried about the gore and death tags. Maybe you should just piece out of this. Nah, we're already in too deep. We got through the bugs. We can deal with death and gore, whatever. There's basically no harm whatsoever in you eating out of this one, and it might save you drowning for good measure. Not that flirtation with dangerous ends is exactly rare for you. I mean, we've already gone through a couple of these, like the bugs and the American historic reference. Apparently that deserved a content warning. Like, just for that, really? Just for that? Really? Like, that literally does nothing for me, and I'm like quite aware of that story. With like Edison and Tesla and stuff like that, and the AC and DC and whatnot, and the bullshit that was there. We're gonna play, fuck it, like, we're not gonna peace out. Piss off. You know what? You're an informed reader and a prepared gamer. You've got this. You ask Vriska what's next. Like, I've seen... Look, when I was like 7 years old, I saw Happy Tree Friends. It scarred me for life. She points to one of the glowing, blinking eggs, which is hatching a pixelated-looking bat. It flaps its way into the air with a high-pitched squeak and starts glowing and projecting a holographic image of a torch. Alright, all you have to do is assign your dice roster on your attribution sconce. The what? Pick your best and worst stats. Your top 2 stats determine your starting class. There's a lot of classes, but I'm already best one. Alright, well that seems simple enough. Drag attributes into the dice roster you want to utilize for them. This decision is permanent, so make sure you are satisfied before pressing finalize and ensconcing them. Sure. Does this matter? I have a sense this doesn't actually fucking matter. Randomize. Current class, social mountain. Oh, that's all right. We're just gonna get social mountaineer. No. Tummy wonder. Flextertious fellow. Comely son of a bitch. Ooh, I like that. Pablo Pasodoble. Okay. Free musketeer. Fanciful funambulist. Artful codger. Haughty with a body. Ah, that's a nice one. Hunger trucker. Ozygourmandius. Ah. Vainglorious bastard. Fortified legate. Espiacrude. Unstoppable prankmaster. Well, that doesn't describe me at all, though. Pompous thaumaturge. Bristling bon vivant. Lardbard. 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 We're Lardbard. We're Lardbard. Your 2 highest attributes are PLC and AppB. Your starting class will be Lardbard. Lardbard. Alright, debuffs are one way to play. A little underhanded, but you gotta do what you gotta do. A max level Petticoat Sagrif and a level 1 Lardbard. Not exactly the meta strat. You're lucky you're paired with the #1 gamer on Alternia. Before I can carry you to victory, we need just one more thing. There's more of this bullshit? What now? Is a giant sandworm going to poke its head out of the sand and puke up some more fucking in-game mechanics that will be described in excruciating narrative detail? Hopefully, yes. Quit being so dramatic. Your character needs a name. A name. You already have one of those, though. You told Jade it already. But man, you're not feeling as comfortable with it right now for some reason. Why is thinking of yourself as a distinct being with an identity and a history feel so uncomfortable? What's wrong with you? That is weird. That's a weird feeling to have. Might as well just make up a character name. We are a Lardbard. Tossa. We're a Tossa. Tossa the Lardbard. The Marquise welcomes you aboard her ship, Tossa. As soon as you confirm your name, the other eggs start squelching and crackling into more little flying holographic biotic projectors of various shapes and sizes, moths and dragonflies and lightning bugs zipping off into the distance. Vriska catalogs all her various books and character sheets, pushes her eye patch glasses up the bridge of her nose and clambers up the gangplank of her ship, which you see has a name painted on the side in cerulean script as you follow her. Ooh. Brigantine. Here, hold this. Vriska hands you a rope and you hold on to it, keeping the mainsail rolled up as she scurries to and fro, aft and bow, across the deck of the ship, making adjustments. You watch her try to tie a double bowline but struggle with the dexterity of her mechanical fingers, swearing in frustration under her breath. You politely look away and try to make idle conversation. You ask for her end of the bargain. What? Her name. You made a character. She tells you her name. That's the deal. She secures another rigging and stomps back over to you. You haven't really made a character until you're in costume. Is your fit not already fresh, perhaps even the freshest? Here. She dumps an extra outfit out of her inventory, looking almost exactly like an earlier version of hers. Smaller with more amateur stitching. You put on the big bridge coat and feel super badass. She looks at you, tilts her head to evaluate, and then grabs a jaunty hat, feather and all, from her Silodex and pops it onto your head. Nice! Alright, my name's Vriska. Vriska Circuit, don't you forget it. Vriska Circuit, or the Marquis. Satisfied with her preparations, snatches the rope from you and lets it go, unfurling the mainsail. She practically skips to the captain's wheel, ready to steer the brigantine out of the harbor. Her real name base is one step closer to friendship, though for a moment you feel like you got told that name already. Your brain is messed up enough without remembering stuff that maybe didn't happen in canon. If canon is even a real thing that means something anymore, it's not. Fuck canon. It's fiction. It is whatever you want it to be. Like that's the thing I don't give a fuck about. Like, people say death of the author, like, it's fiction. You can make up your own fiction about someone else's fiction. Yes, sure, it's fan fiction, but like, you can just make it your own. Just have it be your own thing. Like, it doesn't matter what, like, the official version of something is. It's like, whatever. Your idea is what's real to you and what makes you happiest. And therefore, it's correct. Simple as that. Like, if you say, well, okay, fuck the author then sometimes. You know? It's your entertainment. Entertainment is in the eye of the beholder. Like, it is. It just straight up is. And if you want to behold something that you're more entertained by, changing the version, then you can do that inside your own head. Easy enough. Don't forget that other people have different ideas of what entertains them. Don't push your version onto others if they don't like it. Like, that's fine. But you shouldn't be forced to accept some kind of canonical fucking version of fiction either. It's your entertainment. It's your time. You do with it what you want. I do. I don't give a fuck. There we go. Simple as that. Roll for the initiative. The best way to start any kind of fight. One phrase that will always start the fight, yes. You hear the buzz of projector bugs boarding your ship, and soon 4 flickering holograms appear on the main deck, looking like lurching zombie trolls. You already hear dice rattling on the deck, and you look over at her to cheat and figure out what you need to roll. She's different class though. Alright, I'm starting with an 18. I guess that's good, maybe. Looks like you got a subtract modifier 19. Ha! Guess you go first, Tosser. This is it. It's LARPing time. You look down at the piece of paper with your abilities on it. Get ready to cast some magic missiles or Bugsby's grasping hand or some shit. You pick the top attack from the list. We're a Lardbard. We're a support class buffing or debuffing. Actually, that's good for us to start first. It's your special class ability. You channel the spirit of the Lardbard, pour it straight at one of the holographic zombies and yell that you're casting Sizzle Slam. You grab a d20 and blow on it on your hand. Your lady luck. No snake eyes, other gambling terms, whatever. You let the icosahedron of tabletop destiny drop through the air, awaiting the result with bated breath. It's gonna be one. You get 2 and miss. God fucking damn. Yeah, well, I mean, that's just how it works. That's just how it works. Sometimes the dice just don't cooperate. And you move on. Vriska laughs out loud. Check out how Real Gamer does it. Then she shows you how Real Gamer does it. Over the course of this and the next 4 holographic encounters of ballooning in complexity, tediousness, difficulty, and word count, she just rolls so many goddamn dice and keeps track of so many goddamn stats. Yeah, it can get a bit messy. Like, the thing about, like, in a dice-based game is if you, like, you need to have statics for it to make a lot more sense, to be more enjoyable. Like, you need to have abilities to, like, re-roll or add to the roll or subtract to it as well, depending on the system. Like, you need, you know, abilities for your character and whatnot at your disposal to influence the randomness. Personally, I prefer games with, like, very limited roll of the dice, at least on your end, or like on the end of any specific character that's either pro or for or against you or whatever. Like, I'm absolutely fine with random dice rolls for things that affect everyone equally, like the weather, for example, or something like that, or, you know, something in the environment, or something that's completely unrelated, somewhere, a third party that's, like, not affiliated with either. Like, that's fine. Them being completely role-based is fine, because it affects both. It can be beneficial to you and detrimental to the enemy, or whatever, or vice versa. But for the player characters to be, their destiny to be influenced entirely just by dice kind of sucks. Okay? It kind of sucks, honestly. Anyway, you're overwhelmed, bewildered, and tired of doing math in pencil by the time the last squid-themed hollow monster dies. You were worried about the danger of this game before, but it seems like the only way you're gonna die today is from fucking boredom. I mean, it is true, depending on the complexity of the encounter and the number of characters around, can go on for like an hour. Just until you resolve all the rolls, all the changes, all the reactions, if any, if the system has those things where things happen based on another thing happening aside from, like, it's your turn and there's a dice roll. Like, there's things, something moves closer to you, something makes an attack against the determined location or target or whatever. And then you spot it. A schooner or schooner, painted all in black, emerges from the fog. You shout to Vriska that there's a ship on the port horizon. You shout to the Marquise. Correction, please. We're flopping right now. Use the correct words, mate. Vriska looks right. Does she not know the difference between port and a starboard? You point in the proper direction and she gives you that mischievous grin of hers. I don't know what port and starboard is either, I don't remember. Now it's time for the real action. We've entered the PvP enabled zone. Oh shit, that's bad. Like, PvP in most of these games is really not a good idea. D&D is not designed for PvP because some classes are like pure support and like tanking. Other classes are designed to just murder. So, like, PvP just doesn't work in these games. That's all. It just doesn't. Because, like, some builds, you can dish out, you know, like 5 times the amount of players' maximum potential health in one action, potentially, depending on how it's been built. So it's like, because you're fighting against monsters, sometimes they are designed to take on like 6 players. One giant monster against 6 players. I mean, you don't really do solo designs like that. You have to have environmental things. You have to have minions, like henchmen, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I'm rattling on about things. I like D&D. It's fun. She puts aside her character sheet and dice, drawing a blue saber. She holds it on one hand, the ship's wheel in the other. That's the Rue, the ship of Dreadclaw Ophelia. Top of the level, flap leaderboards. She's got a whole crew on that boat. But she's just not a rich sea dweller with hired help, and she's been too scared to face me. Vriska's pointed your ship straight at the Rue, and you're picking up speed. You can make out the troll girl with finned ears and a gaudy purple outfit that you describe as sexy pirate Halloween costume from the world's most bougie party city, Dreadclaw Ophelia. It's absolutely garish compared to Vriska's more core approach to RP activewear, but dressed much more humbly than the captain are a bunch of low-bloods standing behind her, clutching shitty rusty swords and shaking. So let's bring the fight to her. Nah. Hey, you're not slowing down. You're pointing straight at the enemy hull. Fuck yeah, you do that fucking ramming speed. Fuck yeah, ramming speed. This reminds me of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. They can just ram ships. It's fucking great. It's fun. That's the best part of the game. The pirate ship captaining. And obviously the Assassin's Creed escort missions are like fucking hot take a decade. Yeah, no, like we all know that. We all know that. If we know about it, we know we know. We all agree. Vriska steers your ship directly into the well-appointed schooner, and you struggle to keep your feet at the shock of impact, which knocks the violet blood in her frightened trolls to the deck of the Rue. She yells over the din of horrific wood-on-wood screeching. Hey, Swabby! Want to be real good at sword fighting? You look at her with stars in your eyes. Yes, you do want to be real good at sword fighting. You nod eagerly, and she on her hand tosses you her blue-hilted saber, which you catch eagerly. Vriska grins back, puts her hand to her temple, and squints with her one good eye. The 7 red dots of her prosthetic seem to smear and blur as your vision loses focus. You've managed well to this point as first mate of the brigantine, but your sea legs seem to give out on you all at once. You drop the sword you were just given, and it clatters to the deck. She's pissed. You try to tell her something's wrong, but your mouth lolls open and you drool a bit. A dull pain gains a sharp and sudden clarity. It feels as though 8 spindly legs are crawling on your head. No, in your head. Each footfall feels more like a knife cutting through butter. Well, at some point all sensation slips up into nothing, and you follow the sword to the ground, asleep. What the fuck? Wake up, moron! You don't hear that and you don't wake up. The salt and swirl of the ocean gives way to the rustling of alien trees. No longer do you hear the scream of gulls following your ship, waiting for corpses and gore to tumble overboard. It's all peaceful. Consciousness returns to you, and its first present is the discovery that you're face down in a slightly wet dirt. Some got in your mouth. You spit it out and sit up, brushing muck off your flarp costume. Wait, that's not a flarp costume. That's a hoodie with a jagged cerulean symbol. A different symbol on it, loose-fitting, as though it belonged to a friend. Half memories swim in your mind as you take in the scene, just as familiar as your clothing. A stump sitting in a clearing between the trunks of a purple-treed Alterlian forest. A harpoon sticks out of it. Sun cut in the music. This stump would typically fill you with unease, an aura of death and defeat. But a squirrely silhouette cuts through the darkness, and you step further into the clearing and feel your heart lift. Hello? Sitting there on the stump, kicking bare feet back and forth, tilting her head to the side and smiling impishly, is your friend Boulder Lamati. You remember her? You remember her. Excellent. Psst. Fancy seeing you here. That's a joke. I'm a figment of imagination. I was expecting you the whole time. She pats the stump next to her in an inviting gesture, and you sit down. You feel less adrift than you can ever remember. You tell her you missed her. Of course you did. You've given yourself into a real mess, dear friend. You ask about all your old friends. Sitting next to you... fuck, I bumped into the microphone. God damn it. They flip through your mind clear as day, as though the memories were never locked away in the first place. How are Tagora and Galak doing? Has she run into Ardata again? What's going on in the neighborhood? Do folks miss you? That last question collapses her wry smile into a genuine, crestfallen expression. Oh, that was even noticed that we're missing. Oh no. I can really tell that for sure. You've seen it for yourself, just how much he can do. There's a whole lot of disturbance in this neighborhood, and there's his nefarious fingerprints all over it. It's almost like he was preparing for this. But I try to stay one step ahead, and I remember what I'm fighting for. Do you? The question is arresting. What are you doing? Even with your memory clouded, you've just been bumbling into other people's stories, breaking things as you go. Well, there's nothing wrong with breaking things. It's like they say, sometimes you have to compromise a few unfertilized cluck beast embryos in the name of a complete breakfast. You tell her you haven't had a good breakfast in no ages. One of the places you were at had swords in the fridge. Also, you have absolutely no idea what you're doing. You're going where the river takes you. But things are different now. There's a great power within you that you are just now realizing. The power to shape the river. To use its waters to scour the lands as you please. A power even he doesn't fully understand. You look down at your hands. Sitting next to her, you start to remember the green room. The story you've fallen into. You tell her there's so much broken and you have no idea how to fix it. You tell her you wish she was real, not just in your head. She'd know what to do. She tilts her head again, inquisitively. Am I though? Just in your head, I mean. The story is only broken if you accept that it is broken. If you think of the story as something given to you. But it's not. Puppet masters may try and tell you that the strings they are pulling are the only ones. As she says this, her head jerks back, oddly. But she continues whispering, calm as ever. Don't be afraid. Don't let anyone tell you that this story belongs to them. Not him, not anyone. You feel it too. It feels like threads tug at your body and at hers even more. Her limbs twitch and pull in gruesome pantomime as more and more strings loop around her and disappear skyward. They nearly surround her completely, but you are powerless to resist, paralyzed. It's for you. It's always been for you. Remember, friend, the only question. She only managed to spit out 4 more words as she is swallowed up and tangled in a spider's web of marionette strings, choked and broken. What will you do? Good question. The whole scene seems to melt away in searing green, and you are falling, dancing beneath the skilled hands controlling you. He is here. He was already. The ticking of 1,000 clocks, exactly in time, echoes around you. Did you miss me? I seem to be on your mind. I'm flattered. It's no wonder you're thinking about me just after meeting one of my greatest disappointments. You really do spend too much time around willful little girls. It may start to give you ideas. Ideas of choice, of challenge. You're irrelevant because those holding the strings decided you're relevant. An observer. The show must go on. But don't make the mistake these little ingrates did. It can go on without you. The bits that really matter, at least. What's that? Am I doing this? I'm afraid not, darling. I don't even know to what you're referring. Tears sear at the edge of your eyes again. You try to keep Boulder's words in your mind as the strings squeeze the breath out of you. What will you do? Another voice seems to answer, from another place entirely. Scratchy and loud, it says, "Fix this!" You wake up. Cold stone and a draft greets you. Charming. You blearily open your eyes, memories of the dream already fading to wisps in your mind. You're in the cluttered bedroom, the cluttered respite block that you're sure is Vriska's, based on the broken 8-balls scattered everywhere. You pick yourself up off the ground and try to think about how you got here. You passed out back on the brigantine. She must have brought you home. But where is she? You turn around and see a window. You look outside and see a dramatic scene below. Vriska is mind-controlling a group of thralls. One she must have won off Dreadclaw while you were out cold. They're marching one by one towards a massive web. Perched in the web is a giant spider, heaving, hulking, hungry. Vriska's about to feed the losers of this game to her Lucis. Fuck. This is the gore and death bit, isn't it? We just... I can't watch. Let's hide in the room and wait. We don't know the context. Like, we were passed out for God knows how long. We don't know what's gonna happen. We're gonna... You know, this time, we're gonna wait and see what happens. Okay. Holy shit. Vriska's Lucis is a giant spider monster that eats children. Also, if we did go out, what the fuck could we do against that, by the way? We're a stick man. This explains so much, and also raises a significant number of questions that you're gonna think about while not watching these kids get eaten. You look for something to distract yourself with. You spot a black raggedy book, much older than anything else in this room, with a Vriska symbol on the cover. You reach for it and open it up, flipping to a random page and seeing what looks like a journal scrawled in cerulean, but not Vriska's handwriting from your character sheet. Looking inside the first page, you see the name Mindfang. That was the Dreadclaw Mindfang, wasn't it? Or was it Marquis? You read, and holy shit, you're very unsure this is appropriate for a young girl to be reading. You keep flipping through to different parts, and wow, it just gets worse. Vriska named her character after this? Well, teenagers. You lose yourself and hate reading Mindfang's long stories about petty crime, dubious consent, and weirdly detailed descriptions of the outfits of a woman named Redglare. Sure, it's just fanfiction. Okay, she looks kinda down, to say the least. You're surprised then when Vriska walks up the stairs, hands in her pockets, looking at the ground. She doesn't even look at you before sitting down on the floor across from you, cross-legged and staring 1,000 yards into the distance. She rocks back and forth, hands still in her pockets. You go to give her a reassuring pat on the back. As soon as you touch her metal shoulder, cold even through her shirt, she turns to you with a jumping glare and hisses like a cat before facing away again. You get the message. She takes an 8-ball out of her inventory again and then savagely, brutally beats it on the stone floor of her home until it's nothing but shards in a puddle. Then the two of you sit. She occasionally picks through the debris of the 8-ball and the rocks, clenching and unclenching her fists. But as the minutes pass, her breathing slows bit by bit. You don't say a word or bring up what happened. She's the one who talks first. Earlier, you seemed like confused about why I care so much about playing a character. She thumbs the dog-eared edge of a worn piece of paper in her sharp-clawed hand, staring at the wall. She's still got blood on her jacket. Blood that almost makes you retch with the memory of spidery mandibles devouring her spoils. One glimpse of it made you sick. What would dozens do? Hundreds. I mean, it seems obvious to me that the Marquis is the greatest and coolest character ever made. But I've been here for so long, it's sort of like a part of me. Everybody's throwing shapes every day and acting like something, right? But most people are so boring. They don't dress up, they don't act, they are always so obsessed with being the exact kind of troll they were yesterday. Maybe you don't have to be the same. Maybe you can go on message boards and try out being someone new and find out who you like. And find out you like it. Maybe it's nice to be called something your Lucis doesn't call you. And meet people who only ever knew you as the girl online or on the other ship who is like super badass and good at things. Come on, you can't tell me you've never wanted to be someone else. I don't know. Not really. I've never felt comfortable being someone else. I am me. I am myself. Like, and that's it. There's no other thing. It's just me. I don't know. I've never been like even when I was in theater, I never felt comfortable like there weren't many like things where we had to impersonate some other real person or character. It was always just someone in a play. And like once when like there was a like we were trying to do some kind of skit, I was supposed to like impersonate some kind of actual real person, and looked up, you know, how they sounded, how they behaved and what's not, and I just could not get in the mindset at all of being this other real person. I just can't do that. I don't know, my mind just straight up does not work that way. I can't become someone else. I mean, I can lie, I can tell some white lies and pretend certain things aren't, you know, as what they are, but like, it's still part of me. It's still me, fundamentally. It's, I don't know. I have a very strong but undescribable attachment to being myself. Like, there's no reason for it, it's just how it is. I am me, and that's it. Now, you've edged a bit closer to her during this rant and are looking at the sheet of paper in her hand. It's a spreadsheet-looking series of boxes she's filled in with red ink. Name, Marquis Spinnet Mindfang. Class, Petticoat Seagriff. Gender, F. Levels, all of them. She's doodled all over the margins, art of her captaining ships, and swinging swords and drinking out of goblets. Have you ever wanted to be someone else? The question makes you uncomfortable. Just pondering who you are now fills you with unease. Fuck like playing a character. Filling out a sheet like this for yourself seems impossible. I mean, I don't mind pretending to be like, you know, fake characters that I made up. Like, that's easy, relatively speaking. Because, like, they are my creation in a way. But, like, being someone else's character, as being an existing one, like, I can't do that. I've never... Like, I'm never gonna cosplay as an existing character, like a specific one with a personality and name and whatnot. Like, if I ever do cosplay, it's gonna be, like, a member of some kind of group that exists, like, that has mooks and stuff like that in it. Or, you know, like, something like that. Never a certain, specific existing character. Like, that's not how my mind works. I'm not that person. I am not this character that already exists, has a defined personality and everything else. I am not them. I don't identify myself in existing characters with distinct personalities. I might sympathize and see similarities with them, but I'm not them. Like, I don't know how, I don't know how to explain that. That's just how my mind works. I am not this other character. I am me. I don't mind pretending to be someone else, but it can't be someone else that already exists and is specifically defined as somebody. Does that make sense? I'm not sure. I don't know. It makes sense to me. And that's the important bit. A piece of paper representing all your physical and mental attributes. A blank canvas. The common outlines thereon defining the boundaries of every conceivable personality. You don't even know how you'd fill in the gender box. You've been busy making friends, okay? Suddenly she turns on you. And there's a desperate kind of crazy intensity in her good eye. Like her gaze will burn you. You're going to leave, aren't you? No, yeah, of course. Everybody does. Do you think I like this? I used to have a partner. She didn't like it either, but she helped anyway. Like you, I guess, except she didn't puke when she saw blood. And also, not like you at all. She made rules. She loves rules. And I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not, like, big on those. Gambling night, queens broke rules all the time, and that's just what you gotta do to survive. To make the voice stop haranguing you. And, like, she heard her losses and in her head too. But she didn't need anything from her. What's that even like? I've got to be the best. I have to. I didn't get all the levels just to look at them on the sheet. You saw me out there. It's dangerous. She tried to kill me and left me alone. And then I got even because that's what you'd have to do to backstabbers. But I still don't feel even. Doesn't bother her. Nobody ever cares. They just leave and move on. I'm still stuck here on this stupid world. How are people mad at me for putting losers out of their fucking misery? This plan fucking sucks. Oh boy, that's a lot. You let her finish her tirade. She hasn't looked straight at you for the whole thing. You gently ask about how her Morel, who you did just befriend, would feel about her saying she's alone. You see a lot of thoughts flickering through her head and a lot of expressions dance across her face. She settles onto a look like she's smelling something off. People always want shit from other people. Sometimes you know somebody and you can't describe it, like what your deal is. You grow up with these ideas about what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to be. You get handed down these strict categories, tables in your player's handbook, and you read stories or journals or whatever that say that's a mass spirit. You feel like this is about them. And you have a Moriel neck that meddles with you because you're just too broken for her and she just wants. Or you get told, oh, this is what a rival looks like, and then you look at your black date and it's just an absolutely repulsive slimy eel who always wants you to kiss him, and you? Man, I could really upgrade in that department. But then there's someone that comes along and none of that stuff makes sense to you. You just like being with her. Or it's not even like you just feel like shit makes more sense with her. I would say it's like you have this voice in your head saying you're not good enough all the time, but she makes it quiet. But I actually do have a voice in my head saying I'm not good enough. God, I'm not explaining this right. It's fine. It's complicated. What I'm trying to say is, yeah, that's a doomsday device. Everyone leaves, nobody cares, and we're all waiting on a call up to war. And look, I'm ready. I'm the best at war. It's just a big flarp. but I'd rather have a plan B. You give Vriska a moment to breathe. You don't give her a reassuring touch on the back, remembering her jump and hiss when you tried last. She's like a feral cat, this girl. Tangled, greasy hair droops over her shoulders that are always hunched up, like something would come for her throat if she exposed it to anyone. You wonder if she ever let her shoulders down around the girl she's talking about. An ex, perhaps? Of course she did. You wonder if she ever will again. You hear a psst in your ear and a squirrely little laugh, and suddenly remember a green room and that you've had this thought before, somehow. You ask her the question that's been consuming you, or more accurately, not consuming you. Why were you left up here when everyone else got fed to the spider? She tenses up immediately when you ask this, and takes some time to clench her fists, then releases them. Some people are off limits. She has to eat, but she doesn't eat my friends when I bring her enough food. And you're counted as off limits? You're one of her friends? Oh my god, don't get big head about it. I wouldn't let her eat Karkat either, and he's not like my bestie for life or anything. Plus, you helped me out, and that's the pirate code. Plus, Fussy Fangs would be mad. It must be hard separating trolls into two classes. Food, friends and food, like that. It must be hard, and nobody understands. I mean, that's how it works here. Everybody's got someone to kick down on. Except Rustbloods. But them's the breaks. Somebody's gotta be on the bottom to keep the whole shebang afloat. Killing people lower down than you is what all the school feeds say you're supposed to do. To get ready for a life of space war against... Well, it mostly seems like they just kill more lowbloods. That's all it ever is. My ancestor... She looks left and right, as though she's going to be overheard, and leads in smirkingly. She sounds like she's letting you in on a secret. A secret. My ancestor, Mindfang. She sailed around being the terror of the high seas for a while, but she fell in with a group that was going to do something about all that. A bunch of weirdos led by a mutant who wanted revolution. I've always wanted to be like her. I liked using her name more than my own for a while, dressing up like her, learning to sail. But I always end up back here with a pile of corpses. That's having a Lucis, right? Sometimes you don't get to do what you want to. She talks to me, you know. It only stops when she's full. Always whispering in my head. Saying I was fatter than her, saying I deserved all the things that happened to me. Even when I was bleeding out on this floor. You look at the cold, cluttered, uncomfortably drafty room. Whatever happened to her face and arm must have happened here. You see a broken figure silhouetted on the wall. You look back at Vriska, and you know what she is. For all the bombast, insults, killing, you're looking at a survivor. You're looking at someone who did nothing wrong. You remember Dave's carefully crafted defense of a persona. You remember Rose, eating oatmeal for dinner in a drafty brutalist mansion. Jade, in the shadow of a volcano, raising herself. Your world can be as brutal as this one. Earth makes survivors too. And you have made a difference for them, one at a time. All of that nihilistic bullshit earlier feels like it was shouted at you by some middling voice. Someone holding the strings. Fuck that. You're gonna be a goddamn hero today. You're gonna make friends with this whole fucking planet if you have to. And you're going to make it better. Or at least less of a complete dumpster. Oh, you tell Vriska you'll be right back and sprint down a spiral staircase. Oh, hello. You keep running, pumping your beautiful legs straight out of the door of Vriska's giant hive. You don't have to color inside the lines of someone else's story. This is your motherfucking narrative now. Okay, that escalated quickly. All of a sudden we're motivated to take things into our own hands. You take a leap when you reach the cliff and barrel over, falling fast, wind whipping past your face as you tumble through the air towards the giant white spider. A leap not of faith, but of hope. We got magic powers, baby! You crash into the carapace of Vriska's terrible murder mom here hard, cracking it with a piercing shriek. At the same time, you... zap! Hundreds of feet above the mouth of the volcano, on Jade's island, and kick off the back of the spider, leaving the giant troll-gorged arachne tumbling into the lava as you zap back to Alternium, back to Vriska's respite block. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's... that's using up powers in our noggin. Ah, damn. Okay, Stickman. Good job. You killed the giant fucking spider that eats people. You appear behind her. She doesn't notice you. She's looking out her window, down at the empty web, with a shocked expression. Still looking out the window, her stunned silence turns slowly into a grin someone less generous than you would describe as shit-eating. Holy shit, Tassa! You actually did something! Yes, we actually did something. Hell fucking yeah! Okay, that was a quick turnaround. But sure, fuck the evil spider. Okay. Neat. Okay, that was a bit of a roller coaster in some parts, but ultimately, yes. Okay, that was rock solid. That was fucking rock solid, actually. Ultimately, yeah. Yeah. All right. That's a preview of things to come. Cool. It won't be though, probably, because each of these is a bit different than the other. Still, this one had a lot of things going on in there. It had the thing, it had the dream state, it had flarping, had a giant spider, had like self-reflection and just the world of misery and pain and hurt and okay, it's just let's take a breather, take a sip of water, and then we'll be back with the next one then. Yes, we'll be back with the next one.